What's happening, guys, and welcome back to Celebrity Overdose. After dating for nearly 10 years and 2 months of marriage, this couple went their separate ways and filed divorce against each other and are now living in separate houses to ensure comfort and safety to their kids. Yes, guys, we are indeed talking about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. But recently, Angelina Jolie claps back at Brad Pitt for suing her. Number 5. On top of headlines. Just a few days back, news surfaced all over the internet that Brad Pitt is suing his ex-wife Angelina Jolie for allegedly selling her stake in Chateau Miraval Winery behind his back. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are now again on the headlines of many newspapers as Brad has sued Angelina for selling her stake in the French winery to a third party. It seems like their legal fight has not ended yet, and there's a lot more messy stuff to come out. Number 4. Brad suing Angelina. The former spouses have been locked in a bitter custody battle for years, and it looks like there's no end in sight. However, this latest development doesn't have anything to do with the custody of their children, and as fans are saying, Brad and Angelina are just trying to spite each other. In the latest turn of events, Brad filed a lawsuit against Angelina, claiming she unlawfully sold her shares in the French winery they bought together. But Angelina's fans have now dug up some new evidence showing that Brad is going after Angelina to drive attention away from multiple lawsuits he's facing in connection with his Hurricane Katrina housing project. This whole thing is a mess, and it looks like Brad and Angelina's courtroom battle isn't going to be over anytime soon. On Thursday, February 17th, TMZ broke the story that Brad was suing Angelina for selling her stake in a winery they jointly owned. Brad claims that Angelina sold her interest to a Russian oligarch, even though they had agreed not to sell their shares without the other person's consent. According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, Brad and Angelina bought Chateau Miraval in Queens, France in 2008, and Brad claims he invested a lot of money and time in the winery over the years. He also claims that he single-handedly made the winery successful because by 2013, Angelina stopped taking any initiative and didn't care about the wine business at all. Number 3. Selling winery. Brad states that he and Angelina had a mutual understanding that neither of them could sell off their interest without the other's consent. But things got messy after Angelina filed for separation in 2016, and in July 2021, she went to court and told the judge she had reached an agreement to sell her interest to an unnamed person. In September 2021, People magazine obtained court documents showing that Angelina was officially cleared to sell her shares in the winery in a state to a third person. However, according to TMZ, Brad now claims that he never consented to the sale, but rather agreed to give thumbs up or down to the proposed buyer. He also claims that he was shocked to learn last October that Angelina's shares in the winery were sold to a company called Tino del Mondo, a subsidiary of Stoli Group controlled by Russian billionaire Yuri Shefler. According to Brad, Angelina never mentioned she would sell her shares to Scheffler's conglomerate and intentionally kept the terms of the deal from him. Moreover, Brad also alleges that Scheffler's involvement has made it impossible for him to run the winery. A source close to Brad told TMZ, "Unfortunately, this is another example of the same person disregarding her legal and ethical obligations. In doing so, she has violated the rights of the only person who poured money and sweat equity into the success of the business by purporting to sell both the business and family home to a third-party competitor." The source also added that Angelina is seeking a return on an investment she didn't make and profits she didn't earn. And what Brad now wants is for the judge to undo the deal and for Angelina to pay him damages. Of course, Brad's fans were quick to praise him for going after Angelina, and they're saying he has every right to sue her. However, Angelina's fans are now dragging Brad for being petty, and they're saying he's the one who's trying to spite Angelina, but see, that's not even the whole story. Other sources are claiming that Angelina asked Brad if he wanted to buy her shares, but received no response, so she had to go to the judge and ask permission to sell them to a third person. According to a report by Lainey Gossip, Angelina was left out of the decision-making about the business and was losing money from the moves that Brad was making for the business without her input, and that's why the judge ultimately approved her request to sell her shares, and this is why some fans started wondering why Brad is bringing this up now. Like, why didn't he challenge the court decision last year when Angelina sold her shares fair and square? Number 2, tweets. Well, guess what? It looks like there's something else on Brad's end, and it's pretty messy. Angelina's fans are now saying that the real reason Brad is going after Angelina is to take attention away from certain negative articles that have recently started circulating about him. Many fans took to Twitter to claim that Brad leaked the news about his new lawsuit against Angelina to TMZ on purpose to distract the public from his legal issues. Number 1, make it right. Back in 2007, Brad founded a nonprofit foundation called Make It Right to help with the rebuilding of houses in New Orleans' lower Ninth Ward after Hurricane Katrina. However, in 2018, lower Ninth Ward residents filed a lawsuit against Make It Right, claiming that Brad's foundation built and sold houses with defective materials that caused electrical and plumbing malfunctions, poor ventilation, and structural issues. And according to an Architectural Digest report, 10 years later, only 109 of the 150 houses have been completed, and of those 109, many appear to be falling apart. 67-year-old Alfreda Claiborne, a resident of one of the houses built by the Make It Right Foundation, told Architectural Digest that the house was nice when she and her family first moved in, but after a couple of years, it started to quite literally crumble beneath their feet. According to Claiborne, she and her family tried to contact Make It Right representatives many times over the years, but have never heard back. When you leave a message, they won't return your call. I just stopped calling them, Claiborne said. Also, it's worth mentioning that none of these houses were given to New Orleans residents for free, and they still had to pay mortgages. Ron Austin, an attorney representing 2 lower Ninth Ward residents, said, "Everyone thinks that Brad Pitt swooped in with a cape on and everybody gave free houses, and now they're ungrateful people who got something for nothing and they're complaining. That's not true. All these people have mortgages. This is the biggest purchase they'll ever make." So yes, as you can see, Brad is dealing with some serious accusations here, and compared to this, his lawsuit against Angelina over their French winery seems a little petty, to be honest. Fans are now saying it's time we rethink Brad's reputation, because it seems like after he and Angelina divorced, he started playing the victim card, while Angelina was crucified in the press as the scorned woman who uses the kids to get back at her ex-husband. After all, Brad himself admitted that he struggled with substance abuse while married to Angelina, and yet people felt sorry for him after the divorce. Also, many fans have pointed out how Angelina and Brad's kids are now old enough to choose which parent they want to spend more time with, and they all seem to prefer their mother's company. In this winery, Pitt and Jolie contributed 60 to 40% respectively. The couple has been together for a very long time and had this wide perspective of not bringing up this matter in between their personal life, but unfortunately, it did. The most confusing thing is that both the parties gave a different story to their fans, which confused the media. Pitt is asking for the sale of Jolie shares to be voided and receive damages from her. Even after Pitt sued Angelina, the loss was considerable and was hard to fulfill because everything was under law and order. So what do you guys make of all this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you want more content like this going forward, then all you have to do is subscribe and hit that bell icon. And as always, I'll see you again later in another video. Bye now!